just take a few moments to kind of get rid of the sleep of the night. So you can just have your hands palms up on the knees. You can bring index finger and thumb tips to touch if you want. You can bring the hands into prayer. Whatever feels natural, what feels good. Just close your eyes and take a moment to notice the connection between the sit bones and the earth beneath you. And then slowly lengthen up through the spine, and you'll notice a slight engagement on the core abdominal muscles. The rib cage will lift, roll the shoulders up, back and down, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. And draw the chin in towards the back of the neck to make it nice and long, relaxing the shoulders down. And reach up as if you're reaching from the crown of the head upwards. It's a really nice alignment, nice posture. And just slow the breath down. The breath and the mind mirror each other. So the quality of your breath will reflect the quality of the mind and vice versa. So in yoga, and a lot of physical practice actually, we shape the breath to slow the mind down, to calm it down. So just let the belly release as you allow the breath to flow in and you allow yourself to expand, lengthening up. And as you exhale, release the breath, gently drawing the belly in at the end of the exhalation. And create a gentle rhythm with the breath as you allow it to flow in and out. Slowing it down, equalizing the inhalation and exhalation. Taking the focus inwards, and with each breath, feel that sense of release, releasing the night, any dreams that you've had, any anxiety or fear that you may have, you may not have. But just feel like you're letting go of everything and just leaving it at the door. And this is just your time now, focusing on you. One more deep breath here. And open your eyes. Now we're going to start by, as I always like to start, by hydrating and releasing the joints, especially after being in bed all night. And we just really need to release and let go, lengthen everything. So come laying on your mat with your knees bent, just for a few moments to allow the spine to release into your mat. And stretch your right leg in front of you and draw your left knee into the chest tightly. Raise the right leg up a few inches from the floor and just do a few little circles. Point the toe so you're really almost taking that leg out of its socket as you lengthen, release the psoas muscle, and then change direction of the circles. And release that right leg down. Stretch your left leg out. Draw the right leg in. And with your right arm and your right leg, begin to make a big circle. You can have the leg straight or knee bent. It doesn't matter. We're going to open those ball and socket joints up at the right side of the body, the top of the leg and the arm, and change direction of the circles. Really open the nice big circles, but keep both buttocks on the floor so that we're not kind of rolling over and rolling the whole hip. We're actually releasing that joint. And stretch your leg straight up and your right arm straight up, and keeping your back firmly on the floor. You can engage the core here to stop yourself rolling over. As you inhale, release the arm and leg to the side, exhale and bring towards the left. Don't need to touch the floor, it just needs to be a gentle movement. We're going to take these joints through all their natural ranges of movement. And release straight up. Then for the next part, you're going to hook the big toe, the right big toe with the right fingers. Now, if that's difficult, don't worry, you can take hold of the right leg with both hands, or you can use a belt. Dressing gown belt will do if you don't have a yoga belt, just to hook that right foot. Okay, and we're going to, as you inhale, you're going to bring torso and thigh towards each other for a couple of easy breaths. Release the torso back, place the left hand at the top of the left thigh just to stop yourself rolling over, and open that hip, open the right hip out to the side, keeping the leg high. Remember, you can use your belt or just hold on to your leg if you don't have a belt handy, if you can't reach the toes. And relax that right leg down as close to the ground as you can. Take a few deep breaths here with your hip open. And bring the leg back. Bend the right knee, and with your left hand, take your right knee and bring it, bend the knee and bring the right knee towards the floor on the left side. Keeping your right hand as close to the floor as possible. Just make a nice big circle, allowing the head to follow round with your right arm in one direction. And change directions. Keep the hand quite low. And then make a T shape with the arms, keeping the shoulders firmly on the floor, and take a few breaths into that lovely twist. And bring the right knee back up. And open the right hip, placing the right foot just above the left knee. Take hold with your hands of the left thigh and draw it into your chest. You can stretch the left leg up if you wish. So you've got that lovely open, and what you should be feeling now is a nice stretch in the piriformis, in the buttocks. So the outer hip should be getting a nice stretch, like you would in pigeon pose. Just take a few breaths and stretch that out. Release your left foot back down to the ground and release your right leg also back down to the ground. Now stretch your left leg out. Hug the right knee tightly into the chest. Raise the left leg a few inches. Make a little circle. In one direction and the other. Point the toes, you're really lengthening that leg. Release the left leg down, stretch the right leg down. And then bring the left knee into the chest. And now we're going to make a big circle with the arm and the leg in front of the body. Big breaths. Really luxuriate in that movement. And change directions. Quite often we get on to the more advanced and postures, and we tend to neglect our joints, and actually they're fundamental, and they're the building blocks, the foundation of all other postures. And stretch the left leg up, the right arm, and again just open to the side, and then bring the left over to the other side. Just a few times. Once more. Hook the left big toe or take hold of the left leg or use your belt to draw thigh and torso towards each other. Release the torso. Open the left hip out to the side. Open the left leg out to the side. Take a few breaths. And bend the left knee with the right hand. Take it over to the right side of the body. And then make that nice big circle with your left arm. You can let the head follow as well, so that's getting some movement. Change directions. And now make a T shape with the arms. And take a few breaths here. Keep the shoulders on the floor. Bring the left knee back up, bend both knees. Open the left hip, placing the left foot at the top of just above the right knee. With your hands, draw the right thigh. You'll notice one side is tighter than the other. In towards the chest. This is my tight side. You can straighten the right leg and breathe into any tension you can feel. With each exhalation, just volunteering that you're breathing into that tension, you're letting it go. And release both legs down, both feet flat on the floor. Keep your hips, knees and feet in a line. And we're going to do some dynamic bridge, lifting the spine off the floor as you inhale, exhale, lowering it back down again. And the next time you come up, interlace the hands under the torso, hold the posture, and take a few long, deep breaths here. Lower the torso down, and we're going to activate the navel point now. So as you inhale, stretch. Bring your left knee into the chest, stretch your right leg out. You can bring the left arm behind you. So opposite arm to leg stretching out. Stretch into the fingertips and toes. Keep them a few inches off the floor. Make sure the lower back is pressed into the floor. If you're finding that hard, you can just lift the head and support it. Otherwise, we're going to move, coordinating breath and movement. Keep that lower back pressed into the floor. If you feel it's coming off, just apply the muscles in the abdominal area to keep that lower back flat. Hug the knees into the chest. And you can either stay here, or you can bring the legs and the feet behind the head into a full plough for a few breaths. Lower the legs back down, bring the feet to the floor. Keep the knees bent. Knees and feet together, stretch the arms out to the side. And keeping the knees and feet together and the shoulders on the floor, bring the knees down to the floor on one side as you inhale, exhale back to center, and then down to the other. Don't worry if you don't come all the way down to the floor, it's fine. Just come down as low as you comfortably can. If you feel the shoulders lifting, then don't go so deeply into it. And come back to center. Slowly bring yourself back up to a seated position. Stretch your legs in front of you into the staff pose. Okay, good. So we're going to just do a few more stretches here. So you're going to bring your right foot on, well, you can either bring your foot onto the inside of the left thigh, or you can bring it onto the thigh, whatever feels good. Take your right hand and bring it behind the body, left hand onto the right knee. Inhale as you lengthen up, exhale as you twist, look over the right shoulder, and keep inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, twisting a little further as you breathe into this twist. One more breath here. Come back to the front. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold down over the left leg. And just, you can either, if you can't reach the toes, bring the hands to the floor. Try to keep the back straight, because you'll lose the stretch if you round the spine. So keep it nice and straight, the pelvis level, neutral. Take a few breaths here. And now bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. And again, take the right hand, bring it behind you. And you can either take hold of that right, with your left hand, take hold of your right leg as you twist, or you can bend the left elbow, placing it on the outside of the left knee as you lever yourself round. That's a deeper twist. If you combined by threading your left hand through your right leg and taking hold of your right hand. You think that gives a nice shoulder stretch, but don't worry, I mean, you can use a belt to do that by holding the belt that way, but don't worry if it's too much for today. When you've taken a few breaths, release back to the front, place the right foot next to the left leg, inhale up and fold. This is a nice deep stretch for the inner right thigh. And slowly come up. Now we're going to take the left foot and place it on the outside of the right hip, right foot on the outside of the left hip. Lengthen up. And as you exhale, you can either stay here or you can fold to get a little deeper stretch. And slowly come up. Now with your right hand, place it on the left side of your head and gently tilt the head towards the right. Take a couple of breaths here. Release the head back, and with your left hand, take hold of the top of your right arm and stretch it over towards the left. Take a few breaths here. Now, as you're taking a few breaths here, I'm going to demonstrate a nice stretch here, but you can use the belt if you can't reach. So when you finish stretching here, keep your right arm where it is with the fingers pointing down. And with your left arm, you're going to reach round and reach for your right hand. Now, if this is too much of a stretch today, you can just reach for it without actually grabbing it, or you can use a belt and walk the hands towards each other. And you've taken a few breaths there. Release the hands, bring them back to the sides, stretch your legs out in front of you. We're going to do the other side. So left foot, the top of the right thigh, left hand behind, right hand on left knee, flex the right foot, inhale up, exhale, twist round. Back to center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold over the right leg. Take a few breaths. Inhale up. Left foot to the outside of the right knee. Bent right elbow on the outside of the left knee, left hand behind. Deeper twist now. Combined if you want, or just stay in the twist. And release back round. And then bring your left foot next to the right thigh. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, fold. Inhale, come up. Now take your right foot, placing it to the outside of the left hip, left foot to the outside of the right hip, and you can either stay here for a few breaths or inhale up, exhale, fold forwards. Raise the torso back up, left hand to the right side of the head, and gently open the neck towards the left. Release the head back to center. Right hand takes hold of the top of the left arm, stretching it over. Now release the left arm, and if you can reach behind into that bind. Remember, don't worry if the hands don't meet, you can use a belt or just aim them towards each other for a couple of breaths. And release. Okay, good. So now we're going to do a little side stretch. Now, if like me, my knees sometimes, when I'm on them, can feel a little bit wobbly, so I tend to use a blanket, but you don't need to use a blanket if you want to cushion the knees, you can. You're going to come up onto the knees, and we'll start first by stretching the right leg out to the side. Now, I'm quite lucky because I've got these really great Lifeform mats, which I thoroughly recommend, and they do have alignment, so it's really easy to see that, you know, where you're making a nice straight line with the body. But what you can use is your shoulder as a measure. So if your shoulder is in line with your leg, then, you know, your leg's not too far in front or behind the spine, nice and straight. Okay, slide the right hand down the right leg. You can either keep your left hand on the hip, or you can stretch it up, or even stretch it over into a lovely deep side stretch. Take a couple of breaths here. And bring the torso up, lower the left arm. Now, for the next posture, you can either keep your left hand on your hip, you can bring the fingertips down, or if you've got books or a block, you can place your hand on, I haven't got here to demonstrate, but you imagine I've got books or blocks to support myself. Or if you can really go into the deep stretch, you can bring your hand all the way down to the floor, palm flat, and you can either keep your right hand on your right hip, stretch it up to make a straight vertical line between the hands, or you can stretch over to make a diagonal line between the right fingertips and the right toes. Take a few breaths. And lower the right hand down, bring the torso up, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to stretch the left leg out to the side, keeping that alignment, the arm and the spine. Sliding the left hand down, stretching over if you can with the right arm. Lowering the arm down and either bringing it to the hip or supporting it with books or blocks, fingertips, or all the way down. Lower the left arm, bring the torso up, well done. So we're going to stretch the calves out now. So come onto all fours, tuck the toes under into your down dog, and press the heels towards the floor, hips towards the ceiling, a nice neutral spine. Now begin to slowly walk onto the balls of the feet, gently pressing one heel down and then the other. So you really feel that lengthening in the calves. And now both heels to the floor. Hold. Take a few breaths. Now bring the knees to the floor. Sit back on the heels and rest in child pose. If you prefer child pose with the arms down the sides of the body, palms up, then rest here, whichever feels best for you. Take a couple of nice, easy breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back into downward dog for our core cardio. But we're going to keep it gentle today. We're just going to do one repetition each side. But I have to say, if you want a really good core cardio workout, which maybe in later weeks, I'll make you do it 2 or 3 or 4 times each side. And that really does. That's a really good workout. Anytime you just got 5 minutes doing something strong, It's brilliant. So come up into down dog. And keeping the hips level, so you're not raising, although you want to raise the leg high, you don't want to raise one hip higher than the other. Stretch your right leg up. Lift the head. And as you exhale, bring your forehead and your knee towards each other. Inhale, stretch up. And now as you exhale, I want you to, I'm going to come front ways. I want you to bring your right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Inhale, stretch up, lift the head. Exhale, and we're going to crunch now by bringing the right knee to the outside of the left elbow. Hold for a breath. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, lower that leg down. Do the other side. Inhale, stretch the left leg up. Lift the head. Exhale, knee and forehead. Inhale, up. Exhale, left knee to outside left elbow. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, crunch, bringing the left knee to the outside of the right elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower that left leg, knees to floor. Resting child. Well done. Just come sitting up for a minute and wriggle the fingers and flex and point the fingers and the wrists. Shake them out a bit, make little circles in each direction. We're going to come back into down dog. We're going to do our 5th Tibetan rite now. So down dog, plank, up dog, plank, down dog. Continue at your own pace. Knees to floor. And sit back on your heels. Take a few breaths in baby pose, let the body settle. Now slowly roll up. And we're going to do a nice gentle vinyasa to kind of cool things down. So we're not going to hold the postures in the postures within the vinyasa for very long, because I want it to feel a little bit like more like a flow. So just working slowly, but not actually holding the postures for several breaths. We're going to do, I love this, it's a moon salutation, so Chandra Namaskar. And this is a really nice one actually to do before bedtime. So we're going to start by coming into mountain pose. I'm going to demonstrate the first posture on the side. So mountain pose is actually, you know, people think, oh, I'm just standing. But actually, when you're standing, you're activating an awful lot of muscles and you're really having to support the body to stand. You don't even realize it's an unconscious thing. So it's really good to get that stability right. Now, I teach mountain pose a bit differently to other yoga teachers. Most teachers will teach it with feet together, toes touching, but I actually think that puts pressure on the lower back. So I like to say keep, and I think that destabilizes you a bit as well. So keep the feet a hip width distance. The feet are under the hips. And just gently rock backwards and forwards on the balls and the heels, just to find that stability point. Make sure that your weight is evenly distributed on both feet, both sides of the body, and the backs and the fronts of the feet. Spread the toes and lengthen up through the legs, through the calves, the thighs. Activate the core abdominal muscles as you lengthen the spine. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. This will give you that nice stability. You're activating the back muscles, you're activating the core, relaxing the shoulders down. Make the neck long by bringing the chin in. Lengthen out through the crown of the head. Fingers together, pointing to the ground. And just hold here for a moment. And I want you to really feel that connection to the earth. So just close your eyes and really be aware of that connection between the soles of the feet and the ground beneath, and feel energy almost coming up as you breathe in from the earth, nourishing you, grounding you, stabilizing you there. It's really important to get productive in our day, to really feel grounded first and foremost, like really like present. So this really gives us that strength and fearlessness to just get on with our lives. So close your eyes and just feel strong and tall and stable. Okay, good. Now, maintaining the neutrality of the spine. So I don't want you to extend it by, you see, curving the lower back or rounding it by rounding the upper back. I want the spine nice and neutral as you sit back in your chair. You'll feel the core really engaged now as you raise the arms up into Uttanasana, into chair pose. And from here, I want you to fold, bringing the thighs towards the chest, or the chest towards the thighs. The arms will sweep down, sweep behind the body, interlace behind the body, stretch the arms straight up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can straighten the legs here if you wish. And now bend the knees again, chest and thighs together. Lower the arms down, sweep them now in front of the body, come back into a chair, and then come to standing. Bring the hands into prayer pose in standing. And as you inhale, stretch over to the right, exhale to center. Inhale, stretch to the left, exhale back to center. Bring the feet wider than shoulder width and turn them out, turn the feet out. Really important here to keep the knees tracking the feet and the thighs rolling out because they'll want to come in. Keep the spine perpendicular and upright as you squat as low as is comfortable for you. As soon as you feel the spine fold, come out of it a little bit. So as you squat, hold, and open the arms into victory pose. Take a breath here and come back to standing. Now turn your right foot towards the right, and what you want to do, because I've got the 9, I know I'm very lucky, but I want you to make sure that you haven't got one foot in front of the other. I want you to make sure that your hips are square facing forward, your feet are in their own place. I want you to bring your hands into prayer pose behind your back. Now this is quite a strong stretch. If it's difficult, make the prayer pose, you can have it upside down, or even just holding on to the wrists or the arms, the forearms. So keep the legs nice and straight, open the chest as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, fold forwards over that right leg. Release the hands to the floor and come into a full pyramid pose. Now we're going to open this pose into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So here you can, if you find you can't open with a hand low, come up. The important thing with Trikonasana is the posture is open. So you can put your hand anywhere you like on the leg, open the chest to the front. You can keep your hand on your hip, or you can raise it up. But if you can come into a deeper version, then do. So open to the front. Stretch the right arm straight up. Open the chest, lead back, a couple of breaths. Lower the arm down. Bring the hands to either side of the right foot. Bring the back knee to the floor, the left knee, and make sure the knee is behind the hip. Now, in the next posture, bring your left hand next to the right foot. Keep the hip square facing forward, but twist the upper torso towards the right. You can keep the right hand on the hip if you wish. If you want to take it a little deeper, raise that right arm up. You can keep the back knee on the floor, or you can lift it up into that closed twist. And lower the arms, the right arm and the hands, bring them to either side of the right foot. Now you can stay here and really sink into that deep lunge, or you can bring the hands to just above the right knee and sink, or you can raise the arms up and either keep the face forwards or look up. You sink into the hips, into your crescent moon lunge, and lower the arms, bringing them to either side of the right foot. Now try to keep the right foot flat as you turn to face the front. Your left leg will stretch out, right toes towards ceiling. Take a breath here. Place the left foot now flat on the floor and change sides. So right toes now to ceiling. Stretch that right leg out, good. And then twist around, coming into whichever version of your lunge you wish. Make sure that the knee doesn't overshoot the foot and it stays square over the ankle, whichever version you decide to do. Bring the hands to either side of the left foot. Keep the hips facing forward. Raise the right arm into your closed twist. And now triangle pose, whichever version of Trikonasana feels good. Come up higher if being too low is not good. Chest must be open though. Lower the right arm down. Come into pyramid pose. Nice deep stretch. Hands into prayer behind your back. Slowly come up. Come facing the front, toes pointing out. Squat into your victory pose. Step the feet back together. Inhale as you stretch to the left. Exhale to the right. Sit back in your chair. Bring the arms behind the body. Stretch them up. Straighten the legs if you wish. Bend the knees, sweep the arms back, come into chair. And standing, lower the arms down. Well done. Now come onto all fours. Nice tabletop, hands under shoulders, fingers spread, knees under hips. And we're just going to do a little cat-cow before we go into our relaxation. Really feel vertebra by vertebra along the spine is making that lovely wave, that lovely rippling as you release. Make space between the vertebra of the spine. Final chance now to really release. So breathe out through the mouth, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more time. And sit back on your heels. Take a couple of breaths in child pose. And when you're ready, come into your relaxation. A lot of people skip the relaxation at the end of yoga. They don't think it's important, but actually it's the most important time of the class because you've done a lot of work, you've made a lot of changes, but actually for the changes to really be absorbed and assimilated into the body, you need to be still. Actually, that's important after every kind of exercise. You need to be still. The body has to repair and heal itself in that time. Now, if laying in Shavasana is uncomfortable for the lower back, I quite like to use a bolster or some cushions or pillows under the knees, which is really nice. And come laying on your back, allowing the hips to roll open, allow your feet to roll open, arms away from the body, palms up at the sides. Have a little wriggle around. Turn the head from side to side. Shimmy the shoulders and find that lovely quiet, still place where you can really release and let go. So allow the breath to slow down, the heart rate to return to normal. And imagine that you're lying in a beautiful garden and the sky above you is blue. The sun is shining. You can feel the warmth caressing your skin as you gently release a little more. Notice any sounds you may hear in your garden, any scents, birds, flowers, but there's nobody else but you in your garden. No phone, no one to bother you, no one to disturb you, so you can let go a little more. This is your safe space, your happy space. And as you feel the warmth of the sun helping you to release a little more, feel your scalp begin to soften. Your forehead relaxing. Your eyes heavy in their sockets. Cheeks are soft, the jaw is relaxed and slightly open, the tongue resting in the bottom of the mouth. Now just press the shoulders down towards the feet, tighten the neck and let them go. The arms feel heavy. Torso is softening and releasing into the earth beneath you. Now tense and tighten your buttocks and thighs, squeeze them together and let them go. Legs releasing, feeling really heavy. And now feeling so heavy that you feel almost like you're floating. That weight, just letting go. Softening, releasing. Feel every cell in your body is open. Releasing everything it doesn't need and open to receiving all good things. Lose the contours of your body as you just feel yourself merging, becoming one with your surroundings. And now gently become aware of your breathing, the rise and fall of your chest, the ebb and flow of the breath. Notice the contours of your body, the contact between your body and the earth beneath you. Turn your head from side to side, wriggle the fingers and toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles in little circles in each direction and bring yourself back from your garden, knowing that at any time you need to come back to your garden, all you need to do is close your eyes and you can come back here. But it's time to come back now into the room where you are. Open your eyes and stretch, bend and twist, whichever way feels appropriate for you today. Just really luxuriate in it. Bring yourself back. Roll the shoulders a few times, wriggle the hips. And gently bring yourself back into easy pose with the hands in prayer position. A lot of people ask, why prayer position? Why does yoga use it? Religions use it. Every religion uses prayer pose. The reason, there is actually a science behind it. The reason prayer pose is used is because it brings neutrality. So you've heard of reflexology. So when you have reflexology, it's mainly on the feet, but you can have it on the hands and face as well, because in Eastern Chinese medicine, well, all Eastern medicine, the meridians or the nadis, they say that they end in the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, and in the face, and all over the body actually, but the main ones are in the hands and feet. So that's why massaging the hands and feet in a certain way can sometimes release blocks in the body. When you bring the hands into prayer pose like this, and you press them firmly together, you're activating a lot of meridians in the hands, but you're also activating the right and left hemisphere of the brain. So your right hand will govern the left brain, left hand, right brain. So when you press the palms together, you're actually awakening the masculine and feminine polarities, the analytical side of yourself, the creative side of yourself, and you're actually waking up the whole brain and you're becoming aware. And that's the reason we come into prayer pose, or well, to pray, to do lots of things. So ending the class in prayer pose is appropriate because we're waking up both hemispheres of the brain. Take a moment here to come back. Set an intention for the day, the Sankalpa. Dedicate your practice to something important to you. Raise your prayer pose up, stretch your arms up, and then bring your hands to the crown chakra. May grace, goodness, and gratitude bring your hands to the third eye. Wisdom and peace Bring your hands to the throat, truth and authenticity. Bring your hands to your heart, forgiveness, compassion, and love. Bring your hands into the belly, great joy, great health, fulfillment, abundance, prosperity, success, contentment, and bring the hands now to the ground. May protection, safety, stability, and security be for each and every one of us, and may we bring unity. Om Shanti Om. Namaste. Thank you.